Welcome! This video is our part 2 of the ShowingTime product spotlight. In this video, we're going to walk you through using the ShowingTime's listing activity report, how to manage feedback displayed in your listing activity report, integrating CSS with ShowingTime for both agents and brokers so that even you can also benefit from these different features. We'll show you how the ShowingTime activity feeds back into the listing performance report. And we'll end showing you how to share important details with your sellers through the ShowingTime app. Let's get started. Why use ShowingTime and the listing activity report? Well, it's because the listing activity report in ShowingTime allows you to review and manage all activity details for the life of each listing. Accessing the listing activity report in ShowingTime is done by logging in at BrightMLS and clicking My Showings under the Clients menu. This will open ShowingTime in a new window. You can access the listing activity report by going to Reports and then Listing Activity Report. This takes you to your listing setup page, so either menu will get you there. Let's take a look at 540 Mount Harmon. Opening that listing is going to bring me to the Listings Showing Preferences page. To the left of the Listings Preferences page, you will see the button for Listing Activity Report. The Listing Activity Report has the ability to display up to 5 sections. These include a snapshot of all information on the listing, an appointments graph, and pie chart for feedback, as well as the individual feedback responses. And lastly, you'll see the listing activity detail. Here in the Display Options menu, I have the ability to reorder these in whatever order I wish, or even hide some of them if I did not want them to be displayed. We're going to go ahead and leave all of them visible for now. Let's review the listing activity report in each of their sections. The snapshot at the top will always by default give you the date range of the life of the listing. On the left, you'll see basic listing information. In the center, you'll have your total number of appointments, as well as those appointments broken down in both 30 and 7-day increments. And on the right, the total number of agent previews or inquiries that were received. The number of showings are displayed in the appointments per week graph. If you hover over any of these, it will give you the number of those showings. Here, the week of March 24th, we had 4 showings, and the week of the 21st of April, we had 6 showings. Scrolling down to feedback at a glance, you'll see the first feedback section displays in a pie chart. These pie charts are driven by the feedback responses listed below. When using the default ShowingTime feedback template, all feedback must be manually approved to be made available to the homeowner. You'll simply do this by clicking Publish. That feedback is now available to that seller through the ShowingTime app if you've given them access. We'll talk about the ShowingTime app at the close of the class. Scrolling down to listing activity details, you'll notice this does not only include past showing data, but it also includes anything I might have added myself. Open house comments, for example, or ad details for where I might be advertising their property. So there's a lot of different things that you can add to your listing activity report. Let's go ahead and talk about the add activity. Select from one of the types of activity you'll be adding. For example, if you are just now listing this property, you might be scheduling the photographer. Choose photography, select the date and start time, add yourself as the showing agent, and save that information. Every activity you manually add will then display at the bottom of the page. Let's talk about the feedback sections. These feedback questions are the standard feedback template that was provided by ShowingTime. This report can also be set up to provide customized feedback to the sellers. We do this by going into the feedback section, form and design, and you will see here that I'm displaying a listing feedback agent template that I have personally created. On the feedback form, I have 3 simple fields. If you wanted to add to this, you could click to either add multiple choice question or another free text question. They can also be reordered. If I wanted to add a question about why their client is interested, I could continue to add multiple condition responses. When you're done making your changes, remember to click Save Changes. Creating a custom feedback does have a few other benefits. You can make your personalized feedback template the new default for all of your listings. You can also publish feedback automatically, preventing you from returning to the listing activity report and manually publishing all feedback. Additional customizations are available. Let's go back to listing setup and into our Mount Harmon listing activity report. The life of this listing began in September of last year. If I want to provide a weekly update, I can change the date range. I'm going to update the from and to date. In this case, we had no appointments for the week that I selected, so the appointments graph is missing. However, some pending feedback was received. You'll see the feedback at a glance pie charts displayed, as well as the feedback responses themselves. And as always, listing activity details that match the date range selected. The next feature available in the listing activity report are the Send Notification button. Now, agent notifications for price adjustment emails will automatically go out to all agents who have shown your listing within the last 180 days if the listing price has changed within 1% of the previous listing price. If the adjustment does not trigger an automatic notification to agents, you can use the Send Notification button to manually send the price adjustment notification email. And you can use this to send other custom types of messages as well. I am currently looking at the agent version. If I wanted to email this report to perhaps my broker or another agent in the office, or even myself, fill in the email address, the subject, and then any note that I might want. It will automatically attach a PDF version of the listing activity report currently displayed on screen. The next option are attachments. You can add attachments to your listing showing email notifications. By uploading documents like the disclaimers and disclosures document, they are automatically delivered with the confirmation notice and also available inside of ShowingTime. If you want to print this report or download this as a PDF, you have the ability to do so. There is a homeowner version. The homeowner version eliminates the showing agent's contact information, as well as any additional details or comments that are meant for the agent only. This is a great version of the report to email, print, or even download and share with your sellers. Return to the agent version to gain access to your display options, add activity, send notification, and attachments options. The ShowingTime data also feeds back into the Bright Listing Performance Report. The Listing Performance Report allows you to see what local buyers are doing. It includes portal activity, showing appointments, and even opened email. The Listing Performance Report includes chart information on the local market. Here, you'll be able to show your clients how many local listings are directly competing with buyers who might be interested in their house. It includes portal activity. This allows you to compare the portal activity on your listing with the competitive listings, including full report views, favorites, possibilities, and even discards. You can also view the number of appointments scheduled online through Bright and compare them to the recent activity on competitive properties. This includes the number of appointments to contract. And you can see the number of times your listing was sent from Bright to an interested buyer. But what do you do if you don't use ShowingTime? If you're not using ShowingTime, then you won't be able to benefit from not only the ShowingTime activity listing report, but the Bright listing performance report. But there is a way to do this. Let's walk you through a video that shows you how to connect CSS to ShowingTime as both a broker and an agent. Are you using a showing product other than ShowingTime, but would still like to benefit from the ShowingTime integration for things like listing performance report and automatic notification to sellers? Well, you can do that. A download key gives your preferred showing center access to use ShowingTime data. You'll get requests and responses through your vendor, even when they're made by another agent through ShowingTime. To do this, you'll need a special code called the Download Service Key. To add this key, go to My Showings from under the Clients menu on Bright. If you're a broker setting up the office preferences to automatically update all agent profiles, this will have them also using your preferred showing service. To do this, you'll click Office Setup in the left menu. Then, towards the bottom of the page, you'll have the ability to add the Download Service Key. If at any time the brokerage switches to ShowingTime, you can use the Disable feature here to remove the service key from all agent preferences. If you want to give your agents the choice to use ShowingTime or another service, you will not need to do this from an office level. Each agent can update their own service key field. Let's walk through that now. If you're an agent setting up your preferences, click the Edit Profile from the home page. Then enter the service key at the bottom of the page and click Save. You may still be wondering, what exactly does a service key do? Well, this key provides your other showing service access to the received appointment requests inside ShowingTime. Let's use CSS as an example. CSS uses that service key to gain access to ShowingTime appointments. They can then download those requests from ShowingTime and process them. At this point, the handling of appointment requests and any additional responses are done within the subscriber's preferred showing vendor system. It's important to note that there is no set schedule on how often vendors, like CSS, actually retrieve appointment details. It could be every 10 minutes or only a few times a day. Another question you may be asking yourself is, how does the confirmation or cancellation from CSS then actually make it back into ShowingTime? Well, there are two answers for this. CSS does send back to ShowingTime about 8,000 appointment responses per day. However, if you do not see an update for a confirmation that you've received, you can still update it manually in ShowingTime. This is done by returning to the original request in ShowingTime and select the appropriate appointment status from the dropdown. And that's it. Setting up and managing your download service key inside ShowingTime. So to recap, connecting CSS and ShowingTime makes sure that you can enjoy and benefit from both the ShowingTime listing activity report as well as Bright's listing performance report. One of our final objectives was to show you how you can use the ShowingTime mobile app with your client. For this class, we are focusing on you, the listing agent, and your clients as a seller. In order to give access and work with your sellers directly through ShowingTime, you will need to make sure to add them as a contact. You can add a showing contact from the web by clicking on the Contacts menu. This screen does default to first showing your buyers. You'll select the Sellers tab. If you have not yet added your seller, simply click Add New Seller. Or to edit an existing seller, use the edit icon, make your changes or additions, and click Save. You can also manage the contacts for a listing inside that specific listing by going to the listing setup and choosing the listing. Here you'll see the section for contacts. This is also where you will indicate what kind of contact they are accepting. You can edit or delete from here. Let's edit Debbie. And you'll see this is where we indicate if they are an owner-occupant and where we give them access to the mobile app. Contacts added to ShowingTime are not automatically given any kind of access. You must come here, click the Send Access email, which will then email your seller with a verification process, giving them access to only their listing. Let's take a look now at what this seller sees when they log into their mobile app. Here you'll see we have the mobile app with access for our seller, Debbie. Debbie has the ability to scroll through here and update a number of different pieces of their profile. It includes their name, multiple phone number options, email, and the mobile number used for text messaging. They can indicate if they occupy the residence and manage the multiple different communication preference options inside the ShowingTime app. Once your seller is given access, they can also access the showing appointments. They can review any past appointment details, including the showing details and your contact information. They can review requests that still need confirmation and view all upcoming appointments. Many agents in the right situation also allow sellers to approve showing notifications, especially for owner-occupied stay-at-home individuals. Other sections include the listing activity report, multiple ways to contact you, their agent, and editing their contact detail settings, as well as syncing the appointments directly to their chosen calendar. Now let's take a look at the listing activity report view for sellers. At the top, you'll notice that it has the address, price, status, and ML number. There are 3 sections: activity, feedback, and actions. These are the same details you see online, just laid out a little bit differently. You'll see here under activity, it includes the listing snapshot totals, as well as all showing activity. Feedback will allow them to review any feedback responses received. And the actions allows them to email themselves a copy of the PDF version of the listing activity report. If you and your seller use the app to communicate and message back and forth, when clicking the Notification Center icon, it'll bring them to the Notification Center. That's the seller's view of the ShowingTime mobile app. Next, we're going to review the listing activity report through the app for agents. From the ShowingTime menu, you'll access the listing activity report towards the bottom under Reports. This will present you with a list of all of your listings. Simply tap the listing you wish to review the report for, and you are now looking at the listing activity report via the ShowingTime mobile app. This confirms the appointment type as appointment required, gives basic information about the listing, and has the same 3 sections, summary, feedback, and activities, that your sellers can see, but you obviously as the agent will have a lot more access here. You'll see your snapshots for the showings as well as any other activities. Scroll through, you'll see the showing activity by week and feedback pie charts. Let's scroll back up and point out at the bottom that there is an option for action. This is where you would add an activity, such as a past appointment or scheduling a showing. Situations where this is helpful is when a showing agent calls you having technical difficulty but still needs to get an approval for a showing request. You do have the ability to add that yourself. You can tap schedule a showing or log a past appointment. Let's log a past appointment. You'll simply choose the appointment type, date, start and end times, and you will need to search for the showing agent to attach it so that they can receive their feedback request form. Leave any notes that are necessary and click Save. Under the feedback section, you'll see both new feedback received and past showings where you are still waiting for a response to a feedback request. You can tap on any one of them and choose whether this is published to the homeowners, an action that makes it available in the ShowingTime app for sellers. You can manually publish feedback, and you can review all of the feedback that was left. Should you have a question, you can easily contact all parties involved. Activities is where you will see all activities, including the actions you yourself add. From the bottom of the mobile listing activity report, you'll also have access to clicking the listing worksheet, which will take you directly into the listing preferences. Lastly, under Send, you'll have access to sending the listing activity report or using the Send Notification option we talked about earlier. There is so much more to the mobile app. We encourage you to head on over to our YouTube, where you'll find the ShowingTime playlist that will have many more videos walking you through all of the great features of both ShowingTime Online and the mobile app. Let's continue with some class extras. We're going to have James Goggin show you how to share ShowingTime appointment links with your clients inside the client portal as a showing agent.
Today I want to review with you an interesting way to save properties that you've scheduled showings for your clients. Now, during the spring market, during the summer months, throughout the year, it's difficult to keep track of all the listings that you are showing your clients. If your client wants to see a property that they've already looked at once or twice, it's hard to kind of go back through and figure out which property that is. So instead of relying on you, the agent, to keep track of those properties, we can also create a list and give that to our client in their portal. That way, when they want to review the properties that they've seen, they can just visit their portal and look at those properties whenever they'd like. So I'm going to walk you through that right now. I have a pretty basic search set up. Lancaster County, price between $250 to $400, 4+ bedrooms, active and coming soon. So I'm going to go ahead and look at these results. I'm going to go ahead and click off some of these. You can see I already clicked off 5 of these. So these are the 5 that I want to schedule showings on. So we'll go down here and click on ShowingTime. Now I'm going to add these to my showing cart. So we'll go ahead and create a new showing cart. Click Next. We'll schedule these for this afternoon, and we'll put these are for Cristiano Ronaldo, Friday's showings. All right. So once we drop these in our showing cart, you guys are familiar with this process. You can kind of click and drag these around depending on, which order you want to go view these in. You can pick your times. You can go ahead and schedule these. You can also click your Smart Route button down here, which will reorder those for you. Now, once you've got these in the order that you want, you've scheduled your times, you've gotten your confirmations, things like that, you want to share this with your client so that they never lose this list. What you can do is you can click on your little envelope up here at the top right. You can put in your client's contact information, so their email. That way they get the email that one time. Now, inevitably, they're going to lose that email. So we want to keep track of these, 5 properties that we have that we're going to look at. So what we can do is we can highlight that link that ShowingTime provides for us and right-click on it and copy that. Now, what's nice about our system is once you've scheduled these showings, right, you can go into Clients, Contacts, and we can provide a link to our contacts. That way they never lose those listings. So we'll go ahead and search for Cristiano Ronaldo. There he is right there. We'll click on the little drop-down menu to the left and click on Attach Link. So remember when we copied that link from ShowingTime, we're going to right-click where it says Link here and paste it right in there. So the subject will be Friday afternoon showings, and our email body will be, here are the showings, or let's say here are the listings we are going to see this afternoon. Okay? and we can then send that on its way down here. Now I have a fake email address set up. I don't actually have Cristiano Ronaldo as a client, so we'll go ahead and jump over there. This is the email that your client will get. So it'll have a view report button. That's just a link. So when they click on that, it brings them right to those listings that you're going to take a look at. Even updates the request. So if we haven't gotten a response yet, it's going to say not yet requested or not yet approved. Once we have that back, that we are approved to go look at it, it'll give us that information as well. But what's nice about this is if we're looking at the portal, all right, so let's go ahead and look at the portal from a consumer's perspective here. If we're looking at the portal, we can come over here to messages, right? So our messages are right here, and you can see that here are our Friday afternoon showings. We're never going to lose those showings. If we click on that link, it's going to bring us back to the properties that we saw. So in 2 weeks down the road, 3 weeks down the road, if my client says, James, we saw properties on June 15th, and I really liked one of those. Can we go see it again? Well, I'm on the road right now, but listen, go to your portal and click on that Friday afternoon showing that I sent you on June 15th and figure out which property that is and let me know. I'm more than happy to show that to you. So your client is more involved in the process at this point. They really feel like they have a vested interest in finding themselves a home. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or contact our support center. They are there for you 7 days a week, 8 to 8 during the week and 9 to 6 on the weekends. Thank you guys and have a great day.
Now, before we move on to the question and answer portion of this live episode, I want to first bring you to the on-demand ShowingTime training class. We've already told you about the ShowingTime playlist. However, the on-demand class is a very different thing altogether. From the support dropdown, you'll click training. Now, this page outlines all of the future YouTube trainings as well as our client success coaches who are in the field. And those are things like association-based trainings. We're going to click the home link. It's going to bring us to the home screen. From here, you can search ShowingTime, and it will provide you with some of the most recent or most popular articles and courses. Here, you'll automatically see access to the on-demand class. This will walk you through chapters of setting up your ShowingTime as well as using all of the additional features that exist for you with ShowingTime.